d5 is a solid move that takes control of the center after white's cautious first move. Knight f3 develops the knight toward the center and controls the e5 and d4 squares. Knight f6 develops the knight toward the center, supports the d5 pawn, and controls the e4 square. Bishop b2 puts the bishop on the long diagonal in a move called a fianchetto. Textbook play so far. The bishop is ready to be developed to an active square. This creates a pawn chain, linked pawns that form a strong structure. The opening development is progressing well. This blocks the check from an opposing bishop. Castling gets the king out of the center of the board, while also developing a rook. The bishop is kicked by a pawn and must now move or be captured. This move puts the bishop on a safer square. Moving from its starting spot, the bishop gets involved in the game. This strikes at the center to fight for space. Both kings are castled and ready for the middle game. This is an equal trade. Takes back. This offers to exchange pieces of equal value. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. Recaptures. This creates a pawn chain, linked pawns that form a strong structure. This connects the rooks, which helps them work together. Black develops the bishop and attacks the center. This threatens to win material through a tactic. This stops the opponent from being able to win material through a tactic. There were worse moves, but also something much better. This blocks the attack on a pawn that could have been captured. This is not the right idea. A solid choice. Right on target. Takes back. One of the best moves. This is an equal trade. Recaptures. This wins time by threatening a rook and forcing it to move away. This move puts the rook on a safer square. The knight finds a new active square. This creates a pawn chain, linked pawns that form a strong structure. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. Takes back. This fights against the other rook for the open file. After all captures, this is an equal trade. Recaptures. Advancing the pawns in front of the king can compromise the king's safety. This is the strongest option. Very precise. Right on target. This threatens to kick a knight. This gives away a free pawn. That pawn was free for the taking. This misses an opportunity to kick a queen. A good use of time, thinking and finding the only good move in the position. This evades the check from the queen. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. This misses an opportunity to defend a pawn that was under attack. This moves the knight to safety. This evades the check from the knight. This overlooks an opportunity to defend a pawn that was under attack. This blocks the check from an opposing rook. This misses an opportunity to move a rook to safety. This steps away from the checking queen. White finds a nice tactic with just seconds to spare, winning a pawn. This evades the check from the queen. This is a fair move. This steps away from the checking queen. A very strong play. Takes back. This is the strongest option. This blocks the check from an opposing queen. White finds a nice tactic with just seconds to spare, winning a pawn. This steps away from the checking knight. This misses an opportunity to tactically win a pawn. Very precise. That was a free pawn. The pawn is now passed because it can no longer be challenged by pawns as it tries to promote. That pawn was free for the taking. The passed pawn moves towards its goal. That's fine. This protects an underdefended pawn that is under attack. Now black can't stop white from winning material if they make the right moves. This overlooks an opportunity to block an attack on a vulnerable pawn. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. This evades the check from the queen. Now black can't stop white from winning a pawn if they make the right moves. Black was worse off, but now they are in a losing position. That was a free pawn. There were worse moves, but also something much better. This is a fair move. This steps away from the checking queen. This permits the opponent to eventually win a knight. This defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders. A solid choice. This steps away from the checking knight. That's fine. This defends the attacked pawn. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. This evades the check from the knight. This is a fair move. One of the best moves. This kicks the checking queen away with a pawn. This moves the queen to safety. This evades the check from the queen. This threatens to checkmate the king. This stops the opponent from being able to checkmate the king. White finds a nice tactic with just seconds to spare, winning a pawn. This steps away from the checking queen. The queen was sacrificed, a stunning move. Recaptures. This is the only good move.